we are going to be focused on understanding the different search options you have in ACC and how those are going to be utilized and how you may use them in different scenarios. So the ones that we're going to be looking at today are going to be your motion search. So we're going to take a look at your pixel motion search and your classified object motion search. We're going to look at event searches as well. We'll take a look at thumbnail searches, bookmark searches, and your appearance search. So those are going to be the 5 that we're really going to focus on over the course of this class. So first and foremost, how can you do a search, right? So there's searches are going to be ways for you to make it nice and easy for you to get through your video, find what you need in that recorded footage, and find what's going to be most helpful for you as quickly as possible. But you have 3 different methods for how you can get to those searches. So you have a task menu option where you will be able to go into your new task menu and start your search there. Toolbar is another option that you have, and your image panel. All right, so you have these 3 different ways you can access that search ability. So we're going to take a look at that actually in ACC. So I'm going to switch over there here. All right, perfect. So in ACC, like we said, we have 3 options for how we can search. The first one we talked about was the new task menu and getting to my search that way. If you're not super familiar with ACC, your new task menu is going to be up at the top left-hand corner. It's these 3 little lines here, your hamburger menu, if you will. So I generally refer to it as pancake stack, perhaps, whatever you want to call it, but it's your new task menu. And when you click on there, you'll have your available search options here. And your search options may vary from what you see here, depending on the way your site is set up and what you have available to you. So you'll only see the search options which you'll be able to do. So I have quite a few different search options on here. We're not going to go through all of them today, but we will take a look at quite a few. Like I said, our appearance search, events, motion, thumbnails, and bookmarks are going to be the ones we focus on. But I have a few others in here that I have based on my site setup. All right, so this is going to be in your new task menu. You also have the ability to start your search just from the toolbar when you're looking at your recorded video. So right now I'm in my live video mode, but if I switch over to recorded video, now I have this search bar that shows up and I can start my search from there. So you see I have this same list in here that I had in my new task menu. It's that same list of searches. All of these searches that are available here are also available in that search dropdown. So either way, whichever, floats your boat, you could use either of them. It's not going to, make a difference for how your search operates. It's just giving you 2 different options to get to where you need to go. Whichever is quickest for you, you can use that. And then you also have some search options available from your image panel itself. So if I go in here and grab a camera, we're going to open that up here. If I'm looking at this image panel, up at the top left-hand corner, I have some different icons here, and one of them is going to be this search button here. And I'll see that I have 2 options here, a motion search and a thumbnail search. So I'll get a couple of options right there in the image panel itself. You don't have the full list of everything, but you do have a couple of items there that you can utilize just to get to that quick motion search or that thumbnail search. And we'll look at what both of those are here in a second, but I can access those right there from the image panel itself. All right, so I have those 3 different options. Depending on what it is that I need or where I'm at in the client, I can get where I need to go. All right. So let's talk about some of these different search types. So we know how we can get there, our task bar, our task menu, our toolbar, our image panel, but what are these different search types and how can we utilize them? The first one we're going to talk about is motion search. So with your motion search, you have a couple of different options here. You have a pixel motion search and a classified object search. So with your pixel motion search, it is looking for any pixel movement. All right, so it's not particularly looking for a person, it's not particularly looking for anything, it's just looking for pixel movement. So maybe some birds that flew by, or a critter that crawled up to the front door, or whatever, anything that's moving, regardless of what it is, if those pixels are moving, then that's where you would utilize that pixel motion search. Your classified object search is going to be looking for movement from your classified objects, which is going to be people and vehicle. So if you have cameras that are classifying objects on your site, you can utilize the classified object search to just search for movement of those items, right? Of those people or of vehicles. Both of the searches work pretty similarly, but it's just difference in what I'm actually looking for. Am I looking for just the pixel motion, right? Just anything moving, versus specifically looking for classified objects, either a person or a vehicle. So let's see this in action, how this all works for our motion search. Back in ACC, and hopefully you guys can see that. In here, I want to do my motion search. I have all the different avenues that I want to be able to find my search, to be able to include or to be able to get to my search option. I have a couple of different ways to get there. I can do it from the image panel itself, like we talked about. I can do it from that taskbar, or I can do it from that new task menu, whichever works best for me. I can go through there. And Randy is going to be putting in the chat as well a workbook that's going to actually walk through the steps of each of these different searches. So if you need those for your reference later, you'll be able to get those from the chat, that workbook from the chat, and it'll go through each one of these steps that I'm walking through today. All right, so I'm in my motion search screen. So let's talk about what we're looking at here. On the left-hand side, it's gonna give me the option to select the camera that I wanna search. Now I already have my camera selected, the one that I was already looking at. Here is already checked in my listing here. But if I wanted a different camera, I could go in and make my selection based on whatever it is that I need. If I've got a long list here, I could start to search in here so that I can find the camera that I want based on the name. It'll start to narrow down that list if I prefer to do it that way, which could definitely be helpful if you've got a ton of different cameras and you're looking for something specific and you know the name there. So you have that up at the top. Underneath there, you have your classified object motion option and your pixel motion. So I can easily swap between the two right here. All right. So like I said, that classified object is going to be focused on your people or vehicles versus your pixel motion, which is just looking for any pixel movement. Next, I put in my date range. What am I actually searching for? When am I searching for this? I want to put that time frame in here. So maybe I am looking for something that went on, let's say the 19th. All right, I could put that date here. I have a from and a to date, so I could have it, maybe it's over a couple of days that I'm searching for something, whatever the case may be, I can do that as well. I have on here in my date range, I can put in the timing that I'm looking for. So maybe I'm looking for something that happened during lunchtime on this day. I could put that time frame in here, whatever works, right? So sometime between 11 and 1 on this particular day, I'm trying to search. Maybe I'm looking for, there was supposed to be a lunch delivery at this time, but they say they came, I never got my pizza. I'm trying to figure out what's going on, right? I could go through and use this and search during that time. Or I want to see, somebody coming in this door, or if I was looking for a car in a parking lot, whatever the case may be, I could narrow this down to the time frame that matters to me. In this next section, under my classified object search options, the first thing that it's going to ask me is the object types. So if I click in here, I have the option to search people, or a person rather, or I can do vehicle. And with vehicle, you now also have vehicle subclasses that you can select. So maybe I was looking for a particular car, or I was looking for a bus or a truck or a motorcycle, whatever. I have the option to narrow my focus down even further than just saying, okay, I'm looking for a vehicle. But in this case, I'm looking for a person, so I'm going to uncheck vehicle, not too worried about any cars or anything pulling up to the front door. I'm really just going to be looking for a person. Next, I'm going to put in the confidence. So this is how confident I want the system to be that this is the object that I'm searching for. So it's defaulted here at 75, but I could adjust this. If I lower that confidence level, I'm going to get more results. If I heighten the confidence level, I'll get less. So I can go through and kind of set that where I want it to be. My minimum threshold times, or how much time they need to be seen in there, I can add that there. And then how do I want to show my results? All right, so I can do that there as well. Once I have everything I want on the left-hand side, I've got all this filled out. I also have in my scene itself this green overlay. Now this is going to allow me to narrow my focus to a particular area in this scene that I'm searching for. So maybe I don't necessarily need to get results from people just walking down the sidewalk over here, but I'm really more focused on folks who were in this general area. I can adjust this yellow edge that I have on the overlay so that I can switch this to show just the area that is of interest to me. Right? So I'm just focused on this particular area. If somebody's taking a nice afternoon stroll, I don't really care about that. I just want to see who's in this general area. So I can adjust that. Up at the top, I have some buttons here. I can add an exclusion area. So if there was a particular area that I don't care about, I could add an exclusion area. It comes up as a red box that I could adjust, and I can exclude a particular space. I can delete my exclusion area in the same vein, and I can reset the whole inclusion area. So maybe I set up my inclusion area, but I was like, oh, this isn't quite right. I could reset it, and then I can go back to kind of scratch and then rebuild it however I may need to. All right, once I've got everything how I want it to be, I've created my areas here, and I've got everything set up the way I need. I can move this over just a smidge. There we go. Then I am able to come down to the bottom here and click search. Right now I have my list of options. So I got about 10 results here of classified objects going through this space, and I can review those just by going through this list. It gives me some information here. I can see the server, the device, the time, the count, how confident the system was, and the duration all listed here. And then I can go in and double click on any of these and play those moments, right? Play that event, right? Is that the person I was looking for? Not quite. So I could keep going, right? And as I go through here, I can play each of these clips. I can see, who's coming and going, and it's showing me all of this classified object movement. Right? When I find the moment that I'm looking for, here he is, my guy with my food delivery. I can see I've got what I'm looking for. And then over on the right-hand side, I have a few options. I can export this event. I can bookmark this event. I can add this to a new view. So maybe I want to have this moment outside of this motion search. I want to keep going through some video there. I could go ahead and add this to a new view. I could export my results, and then I can find individual objects in this event, right? So I have all of these options on the right-hand side, different things that I can do based on this event that I'm looking at, all right? So if I'm like, okay, I need this information, however I do, I have these options, quick and easy to get what I need to get. If this wasn't right, maybe this wasn't what I was looking for, I can continue to go through my results here, or I can set up a whole new search to find the appropriate event that I needed. All right, so I could use this anytime that I'm trying to look for a person or a vehicle. This is an option that I have. This classified object motion is going to be really, really helpful in that way. In the same vein, I have my classified object motion, but I also have my pixel motion as well. So I could go into that pixel motion, and it works very, very similarly. You set up the camera that you want, the date range that you want. You have instead a threshold here to choose from, high or low for that motion that you're looking for. And then you still have your green overlay here, but you have some different buttons at the top. Your set area, you can clear an area, right? If I want to clear a particular area here, I could do that. I can draw a specific area that I'm looking for, and it literally lets you go in there and kind of draw what's needed for you. And I'm just drawing something random there. I can set it all back up, or I can clear it all. So it works similarly to how your classified object motion worked, only this time we're just looking for any pixel motion. So maybe like you had, you know, raccoons, or you had, you know, a coyote, or whatever you had coming up, you wanted to search for something like that, you could do so. That those things wouldn't show up on your classified object motion search because they're not a person, they're not a vehicle, but I want to still be able to search for them. This would be a great opportunity or a great option for something like that. All right, so this is my motion search. All right. So the next search that we're going to look at, we looked at our motion search, but the next one we're going to look at is going to be your event search. All right, so your event search is going to allow you to look for specific events. So not just motion, but other events that you could potentially be finding in your system. Your event search is going to let you go a little bit more into a few more of those different types of things. So let's look at what exactly is available on the event search side. All right, so I'm back in ACC. We're gonna head over here and we're gonna go and take a look at our events. So with our event search, up at the top, you can add the camera or cameras that you are interested in searching through. So I can go in and make my choices. Right now I have this camera selected, but say I didn't want that one, I could go in and remove it, right? I can go in and select a different camera if I chose. So maybe we'll pick an East camera this time, and I can make that selection, right? To whatever camera it is that I want. Same thing, I'm gonna set up a date range in here to whenever I'm interested in looking. And I'm gonna put in the times that I wanna search. So you'll notice that when you go through and use these search options, the setup of a lot of it is gonna be very similar. It makes it really nice and easy to kind of maneuver through the searches because you're gonna have a lot of similar look and feel as you go through different types of searches. So I've made my camera selection. I put in my date range that I'm interested in here. And then below, I have what event I'm actually searching for. So I can search for motion here, but I can also look for events related to any of my inputs. I can look for particular classified object events. So if I have analytic events set up around my classified objects, maybe objects in area or object loitering or things of that nature, direction violated, all of those classified object events that you can set up, I can search for those in here as well. I can look for events around tampering, if there was tampering with my camera. I can look for arbitrary events, which are going to be the events coming in from your third-party on-viv cameras you've got going on in your system. You have your presence and presence dwell, which are going to be situated or events around your visual on presence detector. If you have one of those set up. And then you have your unusual motion detection as well as the unusual activity detection. So you have quite a few different items on this list to search for. Within any of your searches, you can select or deselect whichever you prefer. If you're only looking for certain things or if you were looking for everything, you could do that. Down at the bottom in your toolbar here, or in your timeline here, you can adjust your timeline here as well. I put in times here at the top, but I could come in this area. I can click into my timeline at any point if I wanted to kind of focus on a particular time, as well as I can adjust with the kind of brackets here if I needed to as well, all right, to adjust my timing. Once I have everything set up the way I need to, I don't need any particular overlay here. I'm looking in the scene in its entirety. But once I have that everything set up the way I need, I'll hit search. And it's gonna go through and search everything, and now I can see all of my results. So I have a lot of motion that came up in here, and then I also have some classified object items in here as well. So I could go in and take a look at that. All right, double click on it, and it's gonna give me my results. This is a classified object event. I can actually see the name of this event. So this is person in break area. So somebody is walking through there. So I got this event type based on that action. With any of my results, I can come in on the right-hand side, export them. I can now perform a motion search on this event. I can bookmark it. I can add it to a new view, or I can export the results to a file. So if I just wanted all of these exported just into a file outside of ACC, it'll give me that list. If I utilize that export option, it'll be able to let me download that as a CSV. Right, so I have that availability there. It's going to give you all these different types of events that you can find right from here. All right, so I can see all of that in that listing. Similar to the other ones, you have all your different columns here with your information. You can adjust them based on whatever is your preference to see there. So that is going to be my event search. All right, we'll keep rocking and take a look at thumbnail search. So your thumbnail search is one of my personal favorite searches. I really like it a lot. Your thumbnail search is going to be helpful in situations where you have a knowledge of maybe an incident occurring or an event occurring, some kind of situation happening. You know approximately, where these things happened, but you're not quite sure when, right? Maybe my car was parked in the parking lot. I know where my car was parked. Somebody hit it while I was at work today. So I know sometime between 8 and 5 that this incident occurred. I can use my thumbnail search to help me drill down there. Or maybe a bag was left in this airport, right? I see the bag, I know where the bag is. I know that this bag wasn't here an hour ago. So I know I can search through this specific time frame to find out where the bag came from or when it was left there, all right? There's a lost child. The child was last seen, mom said, last saw the kid over by the toy section. I can use that thumbnail search to find out where, when little Johnny was last there, right? When I do a thumbnail search, it's going to allow me to narrow my space down to a particular area, and then it's going to present me a set of thumbnails over the course of time to help me narrow down whatever it is that I'm trying to find. It makes it really, really quick and easy to kind of skim through a lot of information quickly. So let's take a look at how I would set that up. All right, back in ACC. I'm gonna close that event search here and take a look at thumbnails. And let's pick a different camera for this one. Let's do this one. All right, so when I do a thumbnail search, similar setup, I have this set of cameras to choose from. I can go and make my selection. I can choose the date range that's of interest to me, right? I can go in and put the dates that matter as well as the times that matter. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave it on today, and we'll change this time here. That'll work, about 2 hours there. I can set up my front and two areas. And then over here, I have the scene that that camera is showing me, but I can also have this green overlay that I can adjust. So let's say we're trying to find out what time this truck arrived. This is not the normal truck that's sitting right here. This is not the normal person parked right there. I want to know, when this truck got here, who it belongs to, what it's doing here. So I can go in and use this screen overlay. I don't really care about all the rest of these cars in this scene. I don't care If anybody's walking through here, I just really care about this particular area and finding out what's been going on right there. So I can go in and narrow this into just the area that I care about for my truck right here. Right? So this is the key. This is what I want to find out. And this is what I'm going to search through. So what's going to do is allow me to get thumbnails over the course of this approximately 2-hour period of that space, right, of this area. So I'm going to hit search down at the bottom. And now I have this series of thumbnails. So I know sometime between 6:33 and 6:42, this truck arrived. But I want to know, maybe I want to be a little bit more exact as to what time they got there. I don't really want to. It looks like he's maybe getting out of the car here, but maybe he's been sitting there a while. I don't know. I can go in and narrow that down. So I don't have to kind of go through this whole period to find out when he pulled up there. I can narrow my search a little bit with this option, right? Whenever I'm looking at my results here, if I click on any of these thumbnails that pull up, it's going to give me a couple of options here. I can step in, which is going to help me to focus more on a particular area, or I can open a particular time in a view. I can also do that same thing if I right click on that thumbnail as well. So if I step in, it's going to pull me in a little bit closer so I can see 6:41 to 6:42. I know he arrived somewhere in there. I can continue to step in if I want to, and I can watch that whole scene unfold from the moment he drives up until he gets out of the car. And I can adjust my thumbnails. If I would like smaller thumbnails, I could do that as well. It's going to give me more options or more thumbnails throughout the time frame, or I can go into larger thumbnails and have less, whatever, it's going to float my boat there. And then I can go into anyone and I can actually watch this scene unfold with open in view. All right, so I can see what happens here when this gentleman arrives. So it's really helpful if you have, I know this truck was there, I know what spot it's in, but I'm not really sure when it got there. This bag got left behind. I need to know where it is, or when it got left here rather. It's going to be super helpful in that. Now, one thing to know about a lot of our searches is that you can use some of these in combination with each other. So for example, here, I have this gentleman in this truck that arrived, not supposed to be in this space, not sure, who he is or where he's coming from or where he's going. I can use this thumbnail search. I've got this information now. I know he's here. I see this truck here. I see this gentleman here. I can use this as a launching pad to then go in from my thumbnail search into an appearance search, right? So I've got this gentleman here. He's getting out the car, grabbing his coffee, his backpack, or whatever it is he's got going on there. But as he gets out of the vehicle here, I can actually use the image of him coming out of his car and use that as a part of my appearance search. So I've got this guy coming out here as he's exiting his vehicle. When he is classified, right, when he has that teal box coming up around him, I can click on any of those classified objects like we have here with this guy. And I can say, if I click on him here, find appearances after this, right? So maybe I found him in the truck, but now I want to know, where did he go? What is he doing on my site? I could use this to launch into my appearance search. And we'll look at appearance search in more depth here in a minute, but just know you can use these things in combination. So if I'm, little Johnny got lost in the mall, we found the last showing of the kid, I could then go in and say, find appearances after this to track down where he went now, right? He left the toy section, where did he go? Or, that bag got left, or that item got left behind. Okay, I saw where when the bag appears, who left it there, where did that person go throughout the airport terminal, or where did, whatever movement, whatever issue I have going on, I can use these in combinations to enhance my search. All right, so that's your thumbnail search. I personally love it. It is quick and easy to go through to find what you need without too much hassle or too much scrubbing through video. All right. Next, bookmark search. Now, bookmark search is going to help you to find a particular bookmark, right? If you're not familiar with the option of bookmarking, whenever you are looking at any of your video, you can go in and essentially bookmark or save or flag a particular area of video with a bookmark so that you can easily go back and find it. Now, you may have many bookmarks on your site, and so your bookmark search allows you to helps you to find the bookmark a little bit more easily. All right, so if I'm looking in ACC, right, maybe I have, let's pull a few cameras in here. Okay. All right, so when I'm looking at that, I have video all over this. If I'm looking at my timeline, you'll see bookmarks are kind of these little yellow flags in your timeline. When I click on it, I can see, you know, the name on it, the start, the end time, but this can be cumbersome, right? I don't want to just go through and click lots of little yellow tabs and attempt to find the bookmark that I need. I could be here all day if I don't remember exactly when it happened or exactly what's going on. But my bookmark search is going to help me make that easier. I go into my new task menu and head over to bookmarks. It's going to give me a list of all of my bookmarks right here. I can search through my bookmarks. So maybe I want to find something in particular. I know there was an issue with a bike. I could type bike in here. Oh, here's my stolen bike bookmark, right? I can go in and take a look and see what happened when this bike was taken. I can also go through and just search by just looking through the titles. You can sort either way through the titles, you know, alphabetically, as well as the start time. So if I want to put these in chronological order, I could sort them that way as well. With any of my bookmarks that I've chosen, I have information on the right-hand side about it, the bookmark's name, the duration of it, who created it, which cameras it may be utilizing, when it was created, any description that's added for that bookmark. When you're using bookmarks, it's really important. So if I go in here to create a bookmark, it's really important that you have a name and description for your bookmark that will help you search for it. When I utilize that search option here up at the top, it is searching through the name and description of the bookmark. So if I just leave the bookmark leave it called new bookmark, and I don't put anything else, don't change the title, don't change the description, it's going to be more difficult for me to find it. Yes, it'll still be on my list, but it'll just be called new bookmark. So I have to click through this new bookmark and all the other new bookmarks in there to find what it is that may be helpful for me. So putting in a good name or description of what's going on is going to make it a little easier for you to find it later on. And then also, when you're creating a bookmark, you can also protect your bookmark data. Your protect bookmark data is going to say, okay, I don't want this bookmark written over in the normal data aging process. Now with that, when I have a bookmark protected, I can see that when I look over here in my actual listing. If it has that little kind of padlock beside it, I know that that's been protected. If it does not, then it will get written over in the normal data aging process. Now, and why that's important to note is that when you're creating bookmarks, you've got this listing of bookmarks in here, you create more and more bookmarks. If they are protected, they are never being written over. If I have a ton of bookmarks that I have protected and I don't go back and delete them or unprotect them when I no longer need that protection, I'm using up more and more storage, right? So if I've got so many bookmarks in there, everything protected, that's space that I'm using on my storage device. So you just want to be cognizant of as you're protecting things, that you either go back and unprotect them so they'll age out normally, or that you go through and delete the bookmark or whatever. With any of those, if I click on it that are protected, I'll see I get these options at the bottom. I can protect it if it wasn't already protected. I can remove its protection. I can export it, which would be a great idea. If I've bookmarked it as protected for whatever period, I know I still need it for longer, but I don't want it taking up additional storage. I can export that out so that way I have it out of my original storage area and saved someplace else. And then I can also delete the bookmark altogether, right? So you just want to make sure you keep your bookmark listing cleaned up, and this is a great place to make sure that you can go in and accomplish that. With any of your bookmarks, when they're selected, you do also have the options on the right, similar to the other searches, to export it, perform a motion search on it. You can edit the bookmark itself. So if I need to go in and change some of the details, I could, or I can export my results to a file. So the listing of the results, I can export into a CSV. Right. Bookmarks are a powerful tool, and it makes it really nice and easy to use that bookmark search to go back and find whatever clip that you flagged previously. All right. So that's my bookmark search. All right, the last one on our list here is appearance search. Now, appearance search, if you're not super familiar, we've had it for a couple of years. It is really a powerful tool to help you find a person or a vehicle. You have two different options to use for appearance search. You can use the search by description, and you can use the search through recorded video. Your search by description is going to allow you to search for a person based on your knowledge of some of their characteristics. You can search, male or female, what color shirt this person have on, all of that kind of stuff. Is it a car? Is it a truck? What color is the vehicle, right? I can do those types of searches. It's like, okay, I know, hey, somebody came to me and said, okay, this person in a red shirt did this thing. I'm trying to track them down. I know that I have them. I know that what they're wearing, so I can use that to help me narrow down and find them in my video. Similarly, appearance search works for people and vehicles for your description. Same thing on the recorded side. You could use people or vehicles, but this way works where I find that person or that vehicle in my recorded video, and then I can go in and say, okay, I click on you and say, find appearances of them before or after this, all right? So before this moment or after this moment, where did this person or where did this vehicle go? So you have kind of the two different sides of your appearance search. Both are super helpful in different scenarios. So let's walk through going through both. All right, back in ACC, I'm gonna close some of these tabs here. Got a lot of searches going on. All right, and then let's go and take a look at appearance search. So if I go into my search bar here, or my taskbar here, toolbar, excuse me. Woo. If I go into my toolbar here and click on search and go to appearances, when I do this, this is saying I want to search my appearances by description. That is what this button is leading me to. So when I click on it, it's gonna pop up with this window, and I can go in and search either for a person or for a vehicle that I may need. So at the top, if I say person, then I can go through personal characteristics or clothing for them. If I choose vehicle, then under my vehicle search, I'm gonna say my vehicle type. So it's gonna be those 5 subclasses that we saw: car, truck, bus, motorcycle, bicycle, and then the vehicle color. All right, so you have both sides that you could search through. But let's take a look at person for right now. Under my personal characteristics, I can go in and say, okay, what gender is this person? Maybe it's a male, maybe it's female. I could select that. I could go in and select hair color, age. I don't have to select everything. So maybe I don't know what color hair they have, or maybe I'm not sure of the gender of the person, whatever. I don't have to select everything. You can kind of pick and choose what you need. You got to select something, but you don't have to select something from every category. So I'm going to say, okay, I know it's a male, and I know it's an adult. So I'm going to make those choices. And then for clothing, I'm not quite sure what shirt they had on, but I know they had on some dark pants. So I'm going to go with black. Right? As you're going through and making your selections, especially when it comes to color, like their shirt and things like that, you want to think about what the camera is seeing, right? So if I was wearing, or the person I was looking for was wearing like a pink shirt, but it's kind of a reddish pink, I might choose red and pink as my options for my upper body color, right? Because in different lights, it may skew more red, may skew a little bit more pink, right? So I got to think about kind of those similarities. Maybe I have a really light gray shirt on, but in some lighting, it might look a little more white, right? So I can pick and choose maybe multiple colors for those types of things. But in this case, I'm gonna just go and stick with that black pants or black lower body color. I'm gonna go into my date range here and I can select the date that I need. So let's say it's the 20th. And then I can put in the time that matters to me. So between 9 and 11. Once I've got that date range in there, I'm gonna go into my cameras and I can select what cameras I need. Maybe I only wanted to see, things going on the west side of my building or west side of my campus. I could go in and just select that. Right now I have everything selected there, but I could go in and make different choices based on what may be needed or how many cameras I want to search through. So I'm going to hit search here. Okay, and it's going to give me a listing of results. When you first pull it up, you're going to get on the left-hand side, you're going to see the options you put in. So these are the things that I put in. I put male, adult, lower color, body color is black, so black pants. I can go in and make changes to that if I need to the personal characteristics or the color right from here. Down toward the bottom, it's going to give me a graph and a timeline here. When you first do your search, it's going to first bring up the first 15 minutes of the time frame you put in, right? So I can go through and start searching through there and see if any of these folks are the person that I'm looking for. If I don't find my suspicious person in there, I can go in and expand this time frame just down below with this toolbar here. So I can go in and stretch this out. Maybe I want the whole hour. Maybe I want to go ahead and see 2 hours worth of results. Whatever is going to work for me, I can go in and stretch that out. Up at the top, I can decide how I want this to be sorted, either by relevance, right? But depending on, what it thinks is relevant to the description you put in, or I can have it split up by camera if I prefer. All right, so it'll literally go camera by camera and give me my results. I can also just change the size of the thumbnails that I'm looking at here. I can make them smaller so I have more on screen, or I can make them larger, whatever is going to work best for me. As I scroll through, I can look around and see if I can find, whoever I might be looking for. Once I find that individual, I can hover over this particular result. I can use the magnifying glass to open that in this window over here so I can actually see that play out, and I can star this result. So I'm like, this is my guy. I want to be able to see and find more of him. I'll click this star result, and that will give my appearance search the availability to update. All right, so now I have this is my guy, and now I have more images. I can go through and continue to make this appearance sort smarter and star more results. All right, so I'm like, these are definitely my guy. So I'm giving the system more knowledge of who he is, so that way it can search for him a little bit better. And I can star those. All right, so I could do it one by one like I did with this one, or if I check them off, I can do multiple. All right, so I can star all of those. As I look through here, if I notice somebody gets into the mix that doesn't belong, I can actually click on there and remove them from that set as well, right? And I get my more updated results as well. So I can see my person of interest here in all of these different images of him. find out what he's doing, what he's up to. He's a little bit of everywhere, this guy. And I can go in and find out what's going on, right? Watch that video over to the side and see what he's got going on. So you have quite a bit of availability with these options here. I've gone through, I've found video of him. It marks it on my timeline here where he's at from all these different cameras. I can go up to the top and change cameras. So maybe I didn't include all of my cameras at the beginning, or I want to search through a different area of my site. I could do so, go in and change the cameras that are chosen. I could bookmark all of these results. So everything that I starred, I could bookmark it. So that way I have those areas flagged, or I can export my starred results, right? I want to go ahead and pull these out so I can utilize these, you know, for evidentiary purposes or whatever the case may be. I can go in and export them from here as well. It'll open up a new export tab for me to be able to grab that. All right, so this is that description-based appearance search, right? So I was able to go in and find him by his description. I knew he was male. I knew he had black pants on. I knew he was an adult. The other side of that is your appearance search by through your recorded video. So anytime I'm looking at recorded video, okay, and I have an object that's been classified, right? You see these teal boxes. I can click on one of those, just a left click, and I'll get options, find appearances after this. So it's gonna look through all the cameras to find that vehicle after this point, so after this moment in time, or before this, right? I wanna see where it's been, right? How did it get to this moment? So I could use either one of those. Now, this kind of how we saw before can be used in combination with other things, right? So we looked at it a little bit with when we found our truck during thumbnail search, and then I saw that gentleman get out and I wanted to find appearances of him after that moment. But I can also do this with a lot of my other searches. Anywhere where I have that classified object, I can click on there and run this appearance search off of that, right? So if for example, I'll go grab a bookmark and I could use that. Okay. So say I wanted to find this person, I can click on here and find appearances after this, right? Or before. So I'm gonna say find appearances after this, and it's going to look for him throughout my different cameras. With my appearance search, with my appearance search, I can go through same thing. I did it with my appearance search by description. With my appearance search through my recorded video, it works very similarly. I can go in and star my different clips here. I know this is him. I know that's him. All right, I can go through and star some of these and help make those results a little bit smarter. And it is going to give me more and more of him as he moves around, right? If I get some folks that I'm like, oh, nope, that's not him, I can go through and remove some of those and get those updated results. With any of these, as I kind of go through, I can click on some of this and take a look at where he's at. I can open it up here and I can see him wherever he may be walking to or walking from, right? This guy's moving all around the place. I want to know where he's going. I can figure that out, right? So it really is nice and easy to use no matter which way you kind of go about it, to find whoever it is that you may be looking for throughout your cameras, right? You want to know where the suspect went after they came in through this area. I want to know, what happened to something. I can use that appearance search to help me do that. So you have both of those options when it comes to appearance search. All right. I do want to mention with appearance search as well, there are certain criteria that you need and certain hardware that you need to be able to utilize appearance search. Your higher end NVRs, your NVR4 standard and premium, are going to come out of the box, ready to go with for your appearance search. Your value options are going to be an optional analytics kit that you would need to get for those to be able to run your appearance search, as well as you'll need cameras that are classifying objects and can perform appearance search as well. And there is a detailed guide to analytics that talks about exactly what you need if you are planning to set that up, and you can find that on our website as well. All right, so we've looked through quite a few searches today, talked about our appearance search, our bookmark search, our thumbnail search, our event search, motion search. So we've looked at quite a few. I do want to kind of do a little bit of a few questions for you guys. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here, and I'm gonna ask Randy to kick off a few questions for y'all.
Okay, let me launch this poll. We've got 3 questions, and this is basically a review for you. So if you take a look at these 3 questions, answer them as best you can, and then we'll go ahead and review your answers. So we'll give you a couple of minutes to go through these 3 questions and give your answers. Okay, we've got about 50% of you that have finished voting. We're going to give it another few seconds here to finish up, and then we'll give you the results. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end the polling now and post the results here. And we'll just go through these quickly. So the first question was, there's a protected video clip in your ACC site that you named Video Intercom Visitor. Your boss wants to locate the clip to export it for an investigation. What search type could be used to locate it? Most people said bookmarks, Jacinda.
Yes, that's what I was looking for here. I was trying to imply with the protected video clip that it was a bookmark clip, because bookmarks will be what you could protect. And using that bookmark search, you know what you named it. You could use that search at the top and easily find it so that your boss could export it. It's a nice job.
Great. Okay, second question was, there's a suspicious bag that's been left in an airport terminal. Which search type would be best to discover when the bag was left? And for this one, people said thumbnails, mostly.
Yeah, thumbnails is what I was looking for here. Now, there's definitely different ways you could get to this information, these search types. You could use different ones to get to different places and depending on your preference. But what I was looking for was thumbnails, make it nice and easy, just create that overlay where the bag is and find out when it was there and when it got dropped there. So yeah, thumbnails is what I was looking for. Perfect.
Okay. Last question was, now that we have discovered who left the bag, which search will help us to locate where else the bag owner went within the airport? And 82% said appearance search.
Yep, then I have, now I found, I have that image of that person. If I'm classifying that object, I can say find appearances after this and figure out where this bag owner went, right? Did they forget the bag on purpose? Did they just accidentally leave one of their bags behind? We can figure that out from locating this person. So yep, appearance search will be great for that. All right, thank you guys for answering some of those questions. Hopefully just get your mind thinking. These search options are great. You can use them however works best for you. And a lot of them can be used in kind of overlapping, right? So I could use a motion search for certain things, event search for different things, depending on what works best for you. It makes it the easiest for you to find the information you need quickly. Scrubbing through lots of video could be very time consuming. And so these search options will help you to make it a little bit more smooth, a little bit more easy to find. Before I let you go, I do want to go over, if you do want to have a little practice with some of these search options, you can utilize one of our demo sites to do so. Some of the information is in the workbook that Randy gave you as far as how you can get logged in. But I do want to quickly show you where to get the software if you don't already have it. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And I am using a browser and heading into the Partner Resource Center. Now, if you're not familiar with the Partner Resource Center, you can access it a number of ways, but one of which is just go to partners.avigilon.com. You can also access it from the Avigilon website. If you just go to avigilon.com, if you don't quite remember that URL, if you go under here and go to the Partners section, you can get to the Resource Center from that area as well. Now, once I'm here, I can log in. If you don't have access to the Partner Resource Center yet, you can register down here and it'll ask you for your information and set you up to get approved for the Resource Center. And once I'm logged in here, hopefully that login is saved correctly. There we go. You have a button called Software, and this is where all of our software downloads are held. So if you need to download or install any software, you can find it here. It separates it on the left-hand side, kind of breaks it down based on different types of things here. So we're looking for ACC 7. And I can split it up. You can either scroll through the listing here or search at the top. I'm looking for the client. All right. And then in my client here, I'm looking for ACC 7, and you want the executable file. Your ACC 7 standalone is right there. So if you just need the client, you have that there as well. And then if you need the ACC client, when you're doing it along with a server install and all of that, then you have your client here. But if you're just taking a look at the client itself, just want to take a peek at the demo site, then that standalone will work good for you right here. And then once you get that installed, your book will walk you through how you can get logged in. It has the credentials, all of that, if you want to go in and kind of play with or practice some of those searches that we looked at today and kind of navigate through it yourself. With that, I'm gonna say that's wrapping up all of the information I wanted to share with you guys. Randy, were there any other questions or anything that we need to talk about here?
No, it looks like we got all the questions answered.
All right, if you have any other questions, things you didn't get a chance to ask yet, you can go ahead and drop those in the chat. Let us know. We'll be glad to answer them for you. Anything, around any of the searches, if there's any questions, definitely want to help you out. We have, time here and we can help you or answer any questions that we need. If not, thank you guys so much for joining us today. We are glad that you guys are joining us. If this is your first time joining one of our Avigilon virtual trainings, thank you for coming. If you've come back, we're glad to have you once again. We're going to continue to do these over the next couple of weeks, so keep a lookout on your email for updates on what's going on. Tomorrow, I believe our ACM set is doing a class on VMware, if I'm not mistaken. And so that'll be a great course as well. And we'll continue to do these, so keep your eyes out, peeled for anything, for more registration links. If you do have questions or anything that you did not get a chance to ask, or just want to get more information or anything like that, you can reach out to us at training@avigilon.com, training@avigilon.com. Shoot us an email. It goes to pretty much our whole team, so we'll be glad to answer whatever we can for you. And we hope to see you again at another one of these trainings. Y'all have a great rest of your day. We'll hang on here for just a couple more moments as well, if you do still have questions. But thank you guys for coming. Have a good one.